Just 2 more minutes before the ma'am joins in. There's someone joined as RC. Could you introduce yourself?
I am here, Rupesh Chaube. RC means Rupesh Chaube.
welcome, Rupesh bhai. Kaise ho? So Rupesh
All
bhai,
good, all good.
facility director at Narayana, SRCC Hospital, which is just bang opposite Ajeli. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Meher.
And there's someone also joined as Vaibhav. Right, so I cannot see him. There's someone has joined as Vaibhav. Sir, someone is Savalkar sir. Someone has joined as Vaibhav. Is it from
Vaibhav.
the ma'am's office?
Vaibhav, I don't know exactly who is Vaibhav. Can you ask to Ravi Pawar?
Just hold on. Huh? Ravi bhai? Ravi sir?
Yes. Yes.
Someone has joined as Vaibhav. Is it from the ma'am's office?
No.
Okay. He's not joined the audio, so we can't hear him. The ma'am has come. Vaibhav, could you introduce yourself? Ma'am has joined. She's just joining in. Some issues, guys. Just a minute more. She came and then again, I can see her. She's joined.
Any issue, Mihir?
I don't know. Ma'am has joined. Ma'am, let me unmute. Ma'am.
Yes, I can.
Hi, ma'am. You can hear? Hello.
I can hear you. I can see you.
All right. Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So we're just beginning the
Yeah.
session.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, ma'am.
Hi, welcome. Welcome to all.
Thank you so much. I've just kept everyone on mute so no one can greet you for the moment. Let me start the session. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
As we all are aware, medical tourism is a 3 billion industry in India.
Okay.
And ma'am, yes, you want to speak something? Ma'am, your internet is unstable.
My internet is weak, I think, here. No?
Yes.
My internet is here.
Okay. So I am.
Let me see. I found the MTNL website then.
Yeah. We'll just wait for you.
No, you carry on. I can hear you.
Okay.
I
So,
can hear you.
all right, ma'am, we are just starting the session. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Please.
As you all are aware, medical tourism is a 3 billion industry in India and growing at well over 20% CAGR. India is set to become a #1 medical value travel destination sooner or later. And fortunately, we all are a part of such fast growing industry. Maharashtra, which is a #1 state in overall GDP of India, unfortunately is a way behind in the India's medical value travel industry. And our Ministry of Tourism and State has taken up a humongous task to make the state of Maharashtra in a top position in the next 5 years. And ministry is actively trying to frame the policy for the growth of medical value travel in our state. Government very well know that medical value travel does not only bring forex to the state, but it generates a lot of employment and tourism opportunities along with it. However, they would be keen to work in a proper framework to ensure faster growth than other states. This meeting has been organized by Directorate of Tourism to understand from the stakeholders what is keeping us behind as a state, what role government can play in overcoming these obstacles to make us #1 state in India, which will in turn contribute making India as #1 in the world. This meeting is chaired by Srimati Valsa Nair Singh, who is the Principal Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Excise in the Government of Maharashtra. Also, this meeting has been headed by Dr. Dhananjay Savalkar, who is a Joint Managing Director, Directorate of Tourism in the Maharashtra state. Madam Secretary and Dr. Savalkar, as a stakeholder of the industry myself, I appreciate that you have shown interest in listening to the obstacles and planning for overcoming the same. Today in session, we have participants from hospitals, medical tourism facilitators, wellness operators, IVF center, and a global consultant who has managed some events and strategies for MTDC. Ma'am, we have participation from Ambani Hospital, Apollo, Fortis, SRCC Pediatric Hospital, Nanavati from Mumbai. We have Ashoka Medicover from Nashik. We have Alexis from Nagpur. And any moment we would get a promoter from Sahyadri Hospital. Along with that, we have Dr. Ahmed from AAA Health.
Okay.
We have Dheeraj from Medico Expert and Leo from Treatment Possible from the facilitator side. Mr. Sriram from Nova IVF, Mr. Sagar from Kiana Wellness, Dr. Onkar from VR Wellness is also participating. And Mr. Umesh, as you know him very well, he's also there with on the session with us. Ma'am, participants, we will give you each stakeholder a 4 minutes to introduce themselves and speak about issues in Maharashtra state and suggestion from your end on how do we take support from the government to solve the issues that you have in your front. We would start with Dr. Santosh Shetty, who is Executive Director and Executive Director of Kokilaben Ambani Hospital. Just hold on, let me, yeah. Dr. Santosh, over to you.
Good evening, madam, and thank you for taking the time to listen to all the stakeholders. So, as Mihir rightly pointed out, medical tourism not just brings patients but also brings things to the country and to the respective state. Overall, India as a country, we've definitely been lagging as far as medical tourists go. I mean, there are individual hospitals in Thailand like Bumrungrad, etc., which attract more patients than whole of India put together. So that is the potential that exists. And we have all the strengths, as you are aware of, whether it is latest protocols, the state-of-the-art technology and best outcomes, and overall a great cost advantage. But despite all, so within India, if you look at it, Delhi has definitely taken a lead over all the other states. And Maharashtra, despite being like the, Mumbai being like the commercial capital, we have been lagging behind, and we are getting just a small fraction of patients vis-a-vis the north. So, I mean, there are many, many reasons for this. I mean, historically, I guess, Maharashtra has never really projected itself as a medical tourism destination. We've always had these trust hospitals and a few corporate hospitals who've been busy taking care of their own patients. And we haven't looked at channel partners or looked at projecting the state as a destination for patients who would like to come. And this is where I think there, we've lost out a bit. In addition, of course, there are many other reasons. I mean, flight connectivity has been one of the issues. People have always found it easier to travel to Delhi vis-a-vis Mumbai. The whole surrounding infrastructure, which is a lot of patients who come in also need to stay in hospital and in the city for a long period of time. So the cost of accommodation in a city like Mumbai is something that has also had an impact, because patients who have to stay longer find it very difficult to manage the cost of accommodation. That's again something that I think, all of us need to pay great heed to. Projecting this state as a medical tourism destination to various countries like, parts of Africa, Middle East, surrounding SAARC countries, in a very structured, objective manner, I think is the need of the hour. Whether it is engaging with stakeholders there by going over there, or having them come through the government to visit some of the facilities, because each one of us here, as well as some other hospitals in the city, have all the strengths which I think we need. But despite all this, we are still lagging behind. In terms of making it easy, say at airports. I mean, one of the suggestions is that have separate immigration counters for people who are coming in as medical tourists, so that they find it very, very easy for them to get out of the airports. Make it easy for them to get to their respective destinations. These are all the small things which make a big difference when any medical tourist is considering Mumbai or Maharashtra as a potential. So these are some of the points that I have. But overall, I think there's a lot of work to be done in this direction, and a huge untapped potential, I think, that we need to work on.
Thank you, Doctor. You have done a great job. I mean, the points are well defined. I would want to invite next is Dr. S. Narayani. Dr. Narayani is a Zonal Director, Mumbai cluster of Fortis Hospital. And she's associated with the hospitals for almost a decade now, half a decade. And she has been managing she's been heading, she's been participated along with Mrs. Rinku, who's heading marketing at Fortis Hospital. Dr. Narayani, over to you.
Good evening, and thank you for this invitation. And I think the very fact that we are having this meeting and our views are being asked for is a huge step forward, and I'm sure it's definitely going to yield very good results. So taking up from where Santosh Shetty left off, I would say that there is a huge need for us to step up in terms of treating international patients. We have the ability for it, and we must get into that space. So these are some of my views. In the first place, we need perhaps we need to have a mechanism by which we put across what the state is capable of. What I mean is, when patients look out for a treatment option in another country, they want to know what are the specialities, to what extent we can treat, and what kind of outcomes we provide, and why somebody should choose us. Of course, the cost of care, but in addition to that, how we actually are providing quality of international standards, and with complete accreditation, which says that we are truly international standards. This in some place, I think as a entire state, we should put across, if there is a way, like whether there's a website for the state which somebody can access, and all details available, and how we are completely superior, and this thing should be brought out. A lot of focus should be on the outcomes of the care, where we can elaborate. If a dashboard or a website or something like this, which could collectively talks about what we are capable of and what we are doing, and speak the language which the international bodies speak in terms of our clinical care outcomes, I think it will be a very big step forward in terms of projecting what we can do, so that people can reach out to us, number one. Number two, it is just my thought that a little bit of the conventional treatment, if there is a way we can actually package it with a little bit of tourism options, and also highlight and sell the positives of Maharashtra, which is in terms of destinations, as well as the cuisines and everything, which are little things which people look forward to. And if there's a way to merge the two, bringing in a wellness component as well, I think this also would have further appeal. The third part is, like Santosh also already mentioned, we do need to make their arrival and this thing a lot more friendly. So that, number one, Fortis is a large group with a pan-India presence. And we realize that some of the hospitals which are in this part of the country, we don't do as much international as, say, our hospitals in Delhi do. And most times we are, we realize that it is the connectivity for patients to come in and directly fly into Delhi is so much better that they choose that option, even if, we can give equivalent services in terms of medical care. So is there a way we can, position Mumbai and this thing as a better connected into with some of these places? That is the third one. In the fourth part, anybody coming from outside, they are a little lost. So if the airports can be a special kiosk, a special channel for them, special this thing for anybody who's coming with medical tourism, their visas and everything. Right now, it's a bit of a, they get a little lost, and there's scope for them to get, how shall I put it, for lack of a better word, I may say that they could easily get cheated or feel that there's a fear of getting cheated. If the state takes up to create a welcoming area for them and then channelize them according to where they need to go, it would really go a big distance in making these patients feel very comfortable of coming to India. The next part is about stay. If we could have designated places, or if we could have a little bit more cost-effective stay options for them, again, it would make it a lot simpler for them, because one of the things which is a deterrent is when these patients come in, they come in for sometimes with relatives for a longer stretch of time. And then if you don't get the right stay options, it's a major deterrent for them. So that is the other part which we need to take care of. So collectively, I think these are some of the few thoughts which could make it more hospitable. Definitely, I think Maharashtra is far ahead of the rest of India in terms of the quality of clinical care we provide. So if we, I'm sure all of us hospitals would love to participate in taking this to another level. And these are the few thoughts which come to our mind straight away. And because these are some of the challenges which we face when we get patients in. And we would be more than happy to participate and collaborate with the Health Ministry or the Tourism Ministry, whichever, to take this forward.
Thank you very much, ma'am. This has been wonderful. The points that you have said about the website, ma'am is already planning for the same. I have discussed with her. And along with that, what you have said about the airport and the Delhi, and the most part is that you said that we are far ahead in the clinical outcomes compared to other states, which is very true. But again, what plans that you have said is wonderful. we anticipate that you would be supporting the government along with us to, take this to the next level. I really appreciate your views, and this has been noted. The next, both of us, our former speakers, have said about Delhi as an exhibition. I mean, as a competitor or as a state competitor for us. And I have someone from Delhi itself who has understood the Delhi market very well, taken over the hospital as Nanavati Hospital here, and would want to establish in Maharashtra also. I would have Mr. Anas Wajid. Could you start, sir? Anas ji?
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Well, as I said, I'm from Delhi in a sense. Well, I hope nobody takes this up as competition, etc. But honestly, Delhi has some advantages, So while we'll not go into that, but I've got only a few points to suggest on what can possibly be done. Some of those have been covered by the speakers earlier. A few things that we find that patients struggle with when they're coming in. And similar suggestions were also kind of given when we had similar discussions in Delhi. Of course, we've talked about infrastructure at the airport, which is obviously critical. Sometimes patients come who've traveled a long distance and they're pretty unwell. For them to queue up in usual clearance, in queue up in those lines for getting their visas stamped and things like that is a little disappointing. In many countries, particularly in Thailand, etc., the visas on arrival for patients who are coming in for medical travel, etc. We've suggested that maybe the government at some level would at some point in time consider for patients arriving from some countries at least. Apart from that, of course, it will be very useful if we can have some basic infrastructure like a patient lounge where somebody can wait while they get their clearances, etc. Then will be very useful. The other problem that we find a lot of people face is related to visas. The government of India perhaps has kind of reciprocal visa arrangements. I think that's the norm. But what happens in this is that patients have different, fee structures, all kinds of problems, documentation that is required. So just imagine some patient stuck outside an embassy waiting in a queue for a visa who needs a liver transplant. I'm giving an example where we've suffered, and it's just a little being nicer and kinder to these people, and to be able to follow another process to get their visas, etc. done would be very, very useful. I would also want to bring to your attention, ma'am, about something like care homes or authorized, hotels or guest houses or things like that, which are patient friendly. We've got lots of guest houses and hotels and so on where these people stay, but most of them have no certification, accreditation of any sort, and many of them are actually not at all friendly for patients, such as, somebody needs to be in a wheelchair and therefore they need to move around, they need slightly larger elevators, they need flooring, etc., which is, for example, in washrooms, which is kid-proof and things like that. They don't end up hurting themselves. Those kind of very, very small additions, etc., if we can look at, somehow either credentialing or trying to get those people some kind of authorization which is approved by let's say a government body, then they become so much easier to handle. I'd also like to talk about a lot of work that comes to hospitals, at least in Delhi and probably in Bombay as well, is through a lot of third parties, business development partners, etc. In Delhi, they're called healthcare facilitators. Many of them, I'm afraid, are independent operators with very little credibility, and we have been talking about this in Delhi, and that we need to kind of organize them into bodies or groups, etc., where they can be credentialed, they can get, let's say, an NABH accreditation or something like that, which makes their operations more transparent, and the government can recognize them through NABH or through some other effort, etc., where we have got a good sense that there is a bunch of people who are actually playing a very critical role in facilitating patients. Their processes, their systems become more transparent, etc. I would like to make two more points, if you'll allow me, ma'am. One is related to supporting hospitals in the various business development efforts that they do across the world. So we face lots of problems in this. For example, all of us have been participating in various fairs, exhibitions, etc. abroad, where we are representing our individual hospitals. Obviously, this is quite an expensive proposition, and only large hospitals with big budgets can afford to do that. But it would be very useful if we can come under one platform, sponsored by, let's say, a pavilion sponsored by a particular government, state government, or a central government, or something like that. Where I've seen many such pavilions abroad, in where you got 4 or 5 competing hospitals, otherwise competing hospitals, but all of them kind of representing India or the state of Mumbai in this case, or something like that, where they all of them come together. Of course, they'll be a part of the expenses of this, but the fact that they can be brought together is probably the government's role will come in there. And finally, we desperately need a digital asset or a digital platform which has credibility. So today, all kinds of hospitals have all kinds of websites. Some of them are literally, they're not even hospitals, but they pretend to be. There are a lot of times we come across these kind of assets in the digital space. I think it will be very useful if we have one neutral platform with some credibility, etc., set up by a government body where all of us can then sort of display our wares and talk about, but everything is genuine and authentic. I think those are suggestions that I had. Some of them, of course, repetitions from earlier speakers as well, but I think these are important. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate Mr. Wajid. The said is very important. The 2 points that I make out is one, the marketing business development activities in the different countries, and the other being the cost of accommodation, which is a huge challenge in state of Maharashtra, accrediting them and the becoming patient friendly. These are very, very well said points. Ma'am, I think, is she there? Okay, she's there. Dr. Narayani wished to add that roadshows with the hospital in designated foreign country offering digital OPD, IPD, and mentorship for their hospital to develop basic level of healthcare, which is the same point what Mr. Anas Wajid has just said right now. So Dr. Narayani has just messaged me. Since we've got 3 hospitals from Mumbai, I would wish to bring one more hospital which is not from Mumbai. It is from Nashik. And I would want to add her here, Mrs. Ankita Parakh. She's a COO of Ashoka Medicover Hospital. This has a wonderful hospital which wants to promote the medical tourism, and they have different perspective into it. Mrs. Parakh, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ankita Parakh, and I am part of Ashoka Medicover Hospitals, Nasik. So I think a lot of good points have been covered by respective members in the conversation. Giving it a different perspective, as everybody said that, we would like projecting Maharashtra as a state as a medical value destination. It could be in the form of social media, print media, digital media, any other format, like participation in outside the country, having a pavilion. So all that has been covered. I think one very important aspect which we have self-learned in last 2 years is we need a very strongly laid down policy, smooth integration of all the tourism departments and all the respective departments within Maharashtra government, which are relevant for this process, and timeline bound execution. Because see, a lot of private players, we need to look at a very strong private and public partnership. A lot of private players are willing to contribute to it in whatever capacity, but there has to be a very strong government support to it, a smooth integration, timeline bound execution as per documented policies by Maharashtra Tourism. Now, coming from a tier 2 city of Maharashtra, so we are blessed that, we have come up with the largest center in northern Maharashtra, where we are catering to the complete Nasik and Nasik district. But we still strongly feel the drain of people from surroundings to Pune and to Mumbai, but not getting the affordable treatment because of the accommodation cost and XYZ multiple factors. So I'm of the opinion, if we can develop a platform or an amalgamation of tier 1 and tier 2 centers. For example, if suppose just hypothetically, if it is say Kokilaben Ambani, and there is a case that needs to be dealt at Ashoka Medicover Hospital, some kind of amalgamation can be done, keeping focus as the care of the patient. Now, when we talk about medical tourism, for me individually, medical tourism is also from the foreign patients with patients within the country. Because again, there's a huge demand and supply gap that we have for quality healthcare. And we personally foresee Nasik as a very affordable living standard center with state-of-the-art, medical treatments and more tech-oriented setups that can be provided to. But yes, it's again, a blend of the tier 1 and the tier 2 centers that can create a magic. And when everybody comes on a common platform. And we also foresee medical tourism as a very strong amalgamation of healthcare. Sorry, I mean, the medical treatment, also as a wellness. So we're looking at a health and wellness together. Considering the periphery that we have, it's a very beautiful wellness center that could be created over a coming time. Because if somebody is going to come for a cancer treatment or a surgery, they usually require a period of 15 to 20 days stay is what is required. So that kind of common platform where health and wellness both are promoted together. It's just not somebody coming here getting operated. And that we feel is only possible when all the players from the respective zones come together and have one common vision. Then we should also focus on promoting Maharashtra as a state for health within India. People are well aware, yes, we are a very strong state, but yes, again, affordability and awareness in terms of, we can take up telemedicine, digital OPDs, as Sir mentioned. So there are a lot of ways that can be promoted. And the holistically, coming from a tier 2 city, we would want that Maharashtra state have a perfect blend of tier 1 and tier 2. And I think I would just sum up with that, Mihir.
Yeah, Ankita ji,
Have
thank
different
you.
challenges here.
No, I can understand the amalgamation of tier 1, tier 2. The two advantages that any hospital that I feel is, one, the cost of accommodation and the cost of treatment in the tier 2. And number two, what you rightly pointed out here is a domestic medical tourism. As a state, within the state, and from different state, getting a patients to a state is again a generation of lot of employment and a lot of other opportunities within the state. And people are getting, I know Apollo, I know Fortis, I know Mumbai, I mean Kokilaben. We've got a lot of patients coming from Gujarat, MP, Orissa, even a Northeast region. So we have that advantage here.
I just want to add one more point here. So just putting the point that, in Nasik, we practically do not have any organized health facilitators also.
Yeah, so that's there.
So getting them also on a common platform would
Let
really
my
help.
friends come in, they are waiting. Dr. Ahmed is waiting
Yeah.
to answer you all. So allow them, they are waiting and listening patiently to all of you. So moving forward, I will take another hospital from outside Mumbai, which is Pune. Dr. Ketan Apte is there. Dr. Ketan Apte is a part of a promoter group and group business head of Sahyadri Hospital chain, which is based in Pune. Dr. Apte, over to you. Yes, please.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So I have heard everyone's suggestions, and Maharashtra somehow has not been able to pick up international tourism the way other states have. So I have been to Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai. The amount of patients who come from outside countries to these particular three cities is much more than what Maharashtra is getting at present. Mumbai has very good connectivity, but I think we need to focus more on, as one of the panelists mentioned, the visa process, and we have to have a focus attention on how to divert those patients from these particular cities. I personally feel that Maharashtra, having so many cities, so many good hospitals, can offer a better price comparison compared to these big cities. So to give an example of Pune, we literally do everything which hospitals in Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai do. We are doing heart transplants, we're doing lung transplants, we are doing the liver transplants left, right, and center almost on a weekly basis. Where we can pitch in this entire medical tourism paradigm is the cost. Our cost competitiveness can be more than all these metro hospitals because the cost of living in a city like Pune or Nasik is much lower. Somehow I feel if Maharashtra government is able to tie up with certain embassies, certain countries directly, and if you're able to have a direct channel, government to government, where you empanel certain hospitals in the state, at the same time, if you're able to have ties with certain insurance companies directly in the Middle Eastern countries, in the African countries, from where patients can directly come here for cashless treatment, it'll increase the number of patients coming into the state altogether. Every patient who comes to medical tourism ultimately wants to spend some time in the city, or state rather, or wants to go and see certain places, get a medical treatment done in an affordable cost. Maharashtra has all the ingredients to get this thing done. What we need is a focused attention. One more problem that Pune is plagued with, it's an opportunity plus a problem, is that Pune has a phenomenally large student population. So if I talk about Sahyadri at large, we get a lot of our patients from student facilitators. We have Symbiosis, other colleges where a lot of these people from Iran, Iraq, Ethiopia, Uganda come here to study. If you're able to formalize a body who can govern these students, because the way they're functioning right now is very haphazard. I am absolutely understand that everyone wants to make money out of this. But if there is a proper channel in which it can be done, where there is transparency. Now, I've met the embassy heads of multiple people, but somehow they find certain roadblocks in Maharashtra. One of the major roadblocks is in transplants. Getting a transplant done in a place like Chennai or Delhi is very, very easy compared to getting a transplant done in Maharashtra. We've got many inquiries from patients who are actually enrolled in places like Apollo Chennai, Global Chennai, MGM Hospital, who actually want to do and come and do transplants over here because we do not distinguish between foreign patients and Indian patients. We are trying to give the same cost to all foreign patients as compared to Indian patients. So they see that there's a cost advantage over here, but they're not able to clear the hurdles of passing the transplant committee. If we're able to ease and ensure that our standards are as good as what they are offered in places like Chennai and Delhi, at the same time, the hassles are less. We'll be able to pull many patients from these metros. And Maharashtra, being one of the most developed states, has all the ingredients, as I mentioned. We can also target certain war-torn countries like Yemen, like Iraq. We need to play onto our fact that we have many multi-specialty hospitals in multiple cities in the state. So if you look at, let's say, a place like Delhi, it's only one city. North, the only one place which drains all these patients is Delhi. But in South, you have Karnataka, you have Kerala, you have Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, you can have patients draining into Nagpur, Pune, Miraz, Kolhapur. You have Nasik, you have Mumbai. So you have so many options where patients can actually drain. I think what we require is ease in process, where we become a more lucrative destination for these patients to come. At the same time, if we're able to convey the cost advantage to the embassies of other countries, I think we'll definitely be able to increase our flow here.
Yeah. So, Dr. Apte, very well point made about transplant committee, which is absolutely a great issue, and you have brought it to the right authorities here. One more point about the students, well noted. Again, it has its own challenges, it has its own pros and cons around it. But very well said.
Yeah.
The documents are very important. I feel it is up to me. I mean, I can get corrected by my friends here. The cost is not the only factor. We need the visibility. We need the positioning around the market where people would, know us. But well said, well noted, ma'am. Well noted, sir. Taken. Over to you, sir. Next, Dr. Niranjan Joshi. Dr. Niranjan Joshi is again coming out of another city than Mumbai. He's from Nagpur, JCI hospital, which is called Alexis Hospital, and he's a head there of marketing. Dr. Joshi, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mihir. It is really a privilege to represent Alexis Multispeciality Hospital on this platform. The points which have been already discussed and detailed by peers are really very valid. We are coming from the city like Nagpur, where we lack mostly on the tourism part. People don't consider Nagpur city as the preferred destination, not only on the domestic, not only on the international, but domestic part as well. So, as a hospital, we feel that pointed rightly by Ms. Parekh that we should go beyond the healthcare and we should focus on the wellness part as well. It is a suggestion from the city like Nagpur that government can focus on creating some artificial tourism destinations at the places where the health facilities are far better. We are one of the 39th JCI accredited hospital, but we are sitting in the region which is lessly seen by any international patient. We also feel that we should have the united approach, state as one entity rather than the multiple hospitals when it comes to the positioning the entire Maharashtra state on the global map. We feel that state government can act as the international aggregator for all the hospitals and pick up the unique specialties of hospitals and chain them in such a way that patient gets lot many opportunities and options to choose from varied sources. When it comes from the government, it always have the different impact compared to the individual hospital. Everybody claims it as being the best because we are really best compared to any other state. Channelizing them properly will be the support required from the state government. We also feel that we should have some international CSR activities which will attract some population wherein, as rightly said by Mihir, that cost is only not the issue, but visibility is the issue. So we feel like we do as a corporate CSR, there has to be something done by as an international CSR, wherein there is an exchange of patient, exchange of the talent, and we then talk about what we have really done by managing the critical and complex patients. This is all from our end.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here and thank you for participating. Very valid point, well noted. Next is Mr. Shaz. Shaz is a strategic partner for Apollo Medicine and for Apollo Hospitals, and he would be talking for Apollo Hospital. Over to you, Shaz.
Good evening, all. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Madam, thank you so much for taking time. I'm going to keep it very crisp here.
Please.
I've got 3 points to make. Number one is I'd recommend the tourism department to run a national or a rather international campaign in some key countries to promote Maharashtra as a medical tourism destination. You all are experts at promoting states. We don't have to give you the guidance how to do it. But just a strong campaign, perhaps using a globally recognized star, will make a big difference. Number two is if the department could advise the FRRO officials to kindly treat international patients differently from the normal tourist. It will make things better because these are patients who are in distress, who are not well, and FRO officials tend to make them wait in queues. I speak from experience with the FRO office in Navi Mumbai. Point 3 I'd like to make, which is being covered by many people, is making an express airport corridor for immigration for medical visas at the airport in Bombay, which will help the medical visa travelers not stand in the normal queues to clear the immigration. With this, I rest my case, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Shaz. Thank you for taking out FRRO's point here. Next here is one of my very, very good friend and Mumbai's last hospital to come here, Mr. Rupesh Chaube. Rupesh Bhai is a facility director at Narayana SRCC Hospital. Long experience. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Mir Bhai, and thanks to all of you to invite and create this platform where at least we have been able to share with each other. So I think I'm left to only summarize because all of people have spoken to every relevant point. So things are very clear. Only thing is I put it in a different a different way, that the whole fact is that people are working, people are doing, but we are only doing it in a very unstructured way. Maybe today this is what it is. Every individual on its own is trying to put the effort. So that's why the effort is getting neutralized. So having a government coming into the picture and the health tourism department coming in a picture maybe can create a very focused structure for the state to represent the Maharashtra state very well into the platform for the international market. That is what is a summary, is a visibility basically. Visibility today is completely digital, whether it is a social platform, whether it is a website, and identifying where we want to be visible. Because a patient who decides to travel out of their country, they always decide where they are trying to go. One is a connectivity. Second is a logistic ease for them. Third is obviously their visa process and the cost element, accommodation. I think all of us have gone through this cycle of going through a challenge of every patient, but the answers always lie into the 4 or 5 points. The key point, first thing, to being visible to them that we exist and we highlight about our clinical excellence, the services which are being offered in the Maharashtra state and what all clinical quality which we have been producing in last 2 decades versus 3 decades. Highlighting that is the first step for us. Second is making the entire logistic to the connecting countries where actually the traditional flows are, where there is a connectivity already established, identifying those markets and approaching them and highlighting our services to them, being very aggressively available on the most of the platform for health expos which happens from the state government representation. I remember when the first time Incredible India was launched for India, it sounded very new for everyone. But today that concept is very well accepted by every Indian that yes, India has focused himself for the tourism. It can always use or create some kind of identity as a state where we can create a health tourism as a symbol for Maharashtra and present as a one instead of going into individual manner. Third thing I would say, the countries which has their own embassy and consulate in a particular countries like Mumbai today has Gulf countries, most of their embassies are available. So we do see a traditional flow of people. Why? Because they feel secure to come to a country where their people are available to take care of them. Having more relationship development with such embassies and the consulates, those who are operating from Maharashtra, and inviting even the consulates and embassies which are not there to have their office in our state will be another value add to that assurance. And third thing is today, when we talk about a patient who would always be moving to a different country, will have thousands of questions on whether I'm going to be treated fair, whether I'll be not cheated by anybody, because it's a different culture, different place. Nobody has a clue. Somebody who is assuring it, the government can play a very important role in identifying the healthcare infrastructure, assuring that we take the responsibility. These are the organizations who will take care of your patient or your family member in a well manner. I think that will create a confidence into the patient to travel to India and to find that support, which is mentally more than any other, because they have to go through the hassle of shifting and traveling. Another which is very irrelevant, but it is relevant for everyone. I think the countries which do travel to India and to Maharashtra and to Mumbai, there's a lot of logistic issues when it comes to their foreign exchange. Their currencies conversion, their currencies has to be converted into dollar. Their countries have the stringent norms for converting their currency into dollar. So there are certain gray areas which I don't know whether the state has an answer or the country has an answer. But there are some small hygiene issues which are there, which is small thing for us, but for a patient, it is a major issues as a roadblock to start with. So I'll summarize again, it's a visibility, cost effectiveness, assuring then about the ease of logistic where we talked about the visa process and travel, airport logistics and everything. And again, accommodation and then highlighting our excellence and the strength of the clinical work which we have been offering is the 4 or 5 key areas. If we can summarize and work on the strategy as a one, not as an individual hospital, I think the answer is not having any problem that we cannot achieve what the other states of India is already been achieving, and we can really fill the gap what is there currently.
So
Thank you.
Rupesh Bhai has given a wonderful 5 points well presented thoughts. He spoke of one more thing which is not he spoke in the summarization, is building a trust. So while people said about getting patients from Delhi, he said getting patients from Thailand. He said getting patients from Singapore. So which is a very, very important thing that he spoke of, that building the trust in the mind of patient that you are not going to be treated in India and Maharashtra is a very, very great point. Ma'am, the next that we would want to get is someone from the medical tourism facilitator, where I also am there. See, understand, hospital has 2 divisions, domestic and medical, international marketing both. But whereas all the medical tourism facilitators have only one thing to focus, international patients. They are on ground. They have offices in different countries and they have their point of view. I would start with Dr. Ahmed.
Hi. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone else. Thanks, Mihir, for having me on board here. Ma'am, I don't know if you remember, but there was a white paper submitted to you by IMC, of which I am a part, on medical value travel in India, in Maharashtra. It's good to see all my friends out here, Santosh, Narayani, Anas, Ankita, people from Alexis, and everyone. And while I see that everyone does come in with their own share of pie, because each one is talking about the problems that are being faced by the customers, if I may use the right word. I think what's more important is from a state perspective, and that's there in the white paper, is to build transparency and integrity. With the kind of this market has been one of the most unstructured markets till about recently. In fact, I had pushed this agenda with the central government to get even the facilitators accredited. And being the first Indian NABH certified facilitator, Mihir of course followed suit. There are only a handful of accredited facilitators. However, on the other hand, there are hospitals that go with unaccredited facilitators to increase their business. So it's both sides. On one hand, the hospital wants to increase its business. On the other hand, they don't want to follow a certain dignity and protocol. So I've been on the other side of the table as well. And now coming as a healthcare professional and a healthcare consultant, this is what the reality on ground is. So first, there has to be a policy of international patients or domestic patients coming through facilitators should be registered facilitators. Otherwise, our taxi driver is also a facilitator, Magnus is also a facilitator, AAA is also a facilitator. So these are certain important things that we need to look at from a policy perspective. Second, on the meet and greet part at the airports, make it accessible. However, we also need to be very, very careful. These are very important entry points to a country. Security of the country is at threat. I have discussed this matter with Ministry of External Affairs as well. And I can tell you very honestly, 50% of the hospitals who are here today on screen have patients who have come in on tourist visa and have converted to medical visas. So these are the dichotomies of today's medical value travel. So when we are talking in consensus, we want to change an image. We want to create Maharashtra as a hub. This really needs serious consideration and a hand on the heart for everyone. We are promoting a state. We are not promoting ourselves. That's very, very important. The state is a part of a country. The country's credibility today outside is at its worst. And let's all accept it. And ma'am, if you remember, we did have a small chat about it with Faraj ji. That building back credibility is going to be a huge challenge. We are talking about accreditation of hospitals. Yes, the state government can provide a website. I've even provided a solution for it. We'll grade the hospitals based on certain parameters. Every hospital says it's very good. Okay, we'll put down parameters. Are hospitals ready to go by those parameters? So these are really questions that one needs to introspect into. It's great to have everyone on the same platform and wanting to push on the agenda, but I'm sorry if I'm being curt and straight up, but I've seen enough of this industry over the last 2 decades that I've been involved into it. And being on both sides of the table, I think if we are asking support from the government, then we also need to be upfront to the government to tell them what the gaps are and what the realities on ground are, which will allow them to take strategic decisions. Sorry guys, but this was sorry, I can't hear you.
Before we continue, I mean, we have Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mihir, first I would like to thanks to you on behalf of Maharashtra Tourism for organizing this wonderful webinar.
So there are
What I
few
understand.
speakers pending. I am waiting for you. Waiting.
Sorry, because I can't hear that. There is a voice cracking from the Dr. Ahmed side.
So there are few speakers pending. I think ma'am is
Okay,
left.
fine.
Could you check?
Continue.
Could you check with ma'am? Ma'am is not there. She just
Ma'am
left.
is not here?
Yeah, she just left. Just left after Dr. Mekla speak.
Oh.
So I think she's by mistake. She is left. Could you check with her? Or we
Yeah,
can-
I will check. I will check. You continue it. I will check with ma'am. Huh?
So okay. So no, hold on, sir. You be there. Ravi bhai, can you check, sir? So at least you can hear what stakeholders want.
No, I am here only. I will call to ma'am from my landline phone.
Yeah, please do that. Please do that. Let us continue after that. Is she joining, sir?
No, I have just ringed. I have to confirm it.
Okay. Let us move to the next speaker, Mr. Dheeraj Sharma.
हॅलो मॅडम ते डिस्कनेक्ट झाले परत जॉईन होणार आहेत का विचारा मॅडम डिस्कनेक्ट झाले त्या वेबिनार मधून मॅडम परत जॉईन होणार आहेत का विचारा आता विचारा मला डिस्कनेक्ट झालं सांगा त्यांना हॅलो
Okay. Mr. Dheeraj Sharma is a CEO of Medico Expert. More than a decade in the industry, very well reputed person in the medical tourism. Mr. Sharma, over to you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. And I just would like to, most of the points has been already covered. So I would just try to summarize and put in a different perspective. The 3 points which has been identified here, one is the visibility. Second is confidence building. And third is how something which we can make positive and how those who are making something negative, we can avoid them, which is an unorganized sector which is spoiling the name of Mumbai and Maharashtra a little bit. So we need to work in all the possible direction. And just to substantiate that, I would just like to give you a glimpse of what the kind of a business Delhi and Mumbai is doing and what is the differential. It's always makes sense to understand the difference between what they are doing and where we are in terms of a business and in terms of the assets. So in terms of a number, Mumbai, or let me put it like that, Maharashtra by and large is doing 15 to 20% of the business what Delhi alone is doing in a medical tourism. But if you see what is the kind of assets we as a Maharashtra and a Mumbai is having, we do have the better tourism place, the better reputation as far as the medical is concerned. If I remember even 20-30 years back, across the India, people used to say that if there is something wrong which has happened, let's go to Mumbai for the treatment. That's the kind of a reputation we used to have at some point of time, even within a domestic market. But if we try to see in an international market, this altogether very different. The social fabric, if we want to see about the Maharashtra and the Mumbai, women's safety, coastal line, if we want to club something for tourism, something for medical and wellness, the better propositions. No extreme climates like in Delhi.
Yeah.
Extreme cold. Everything is in our favor, but still we are not able to, we are at the 10 to 15% of the level. So what are the reasons? So I just would like to, don't want to repeat what everybody has said. Definitely the visibility. Second, very well important, the coordinated efforts. All of us are working in our individual capacity, sometimes with some hospital, sometimes with some hospital, but I never ever seen any kind of a move where we, all of us are standing as Maharashtra. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but at least I have not seen any move where we all stand like as a coordinated effort, like we represent Maharashtra. The best of a healthcare we have, best of the weather we have, best of, I would say, tourism we have, everything best. But the business, we are absolutely the laggards. So from the perspective of Madam, I would just like to say that like tourism is identified as a sector and where the government is focusing, I would just like to add that if we can add medical tourism under the sector of tourism, whenever the Maharashtra tourism is being promoted, and we can start promoting the medical tourism as a part of a Maharashtra, and it will start changing the ways. And I would definitely like to invite all the participants here to make all the coordinated efforts along with the government. And I'm sure we will change the game. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, just Mr. Sharma has spoken on the right point on the medical tourism because he's doing on the ground. Ma'am, before we continue, do you want to say something? We have two speakers pending from wellness and one from the medical tourism. So do you want us to continue that and or before you want to speak that something?
So I won't want to speak because my connection is very, very poor today. I'm like going in and out. So I think I'll speak now because I'm really scared whether I will be able to connect later on.
Please go ahead.
There's something, my office Wi-Fi seems to be down and this is on the phone Wi-Fi. So I want to first thank all of you, each of you who have taken the time off and come today, because I think it's a very, very important subject for all of us to deal with. In
Ma'am, we've lost you. Unfortunately, ma'am has a poor internet there.
reiterate
Ma'am, we've completely lost you, ma'am. Sorry. Ma'am, we've completely lost you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Again.
Now, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll make it very, very. Can you hear now?
Ma'am, it's breaking somehow.
So what I gather from all the comments which I heard.
Yeah.
Very bad here today. It is not like this usually. This is the first time I've had a network issue in office.
Unfortunately, sir, ma'am, our medical tourism.
So what I think.
And the internet is not supporting us.
Yes. Don't worry, we'll manage the challenge. It's not a difficult challenge for us. We'll set up one more meeting when I'll ensure there is a booster also that day here.
No, ma'am. Next time.
So I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you now, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes. We'll have a physical meeting next time so that we can see each other as well.
Yes.
So I think the major intervention by the government, I think, should be on creating a very, very robust communication database.
Yes.
You know, all the accredited hospitals, the NABH hospitals, all the approved medical tourism service providers. I think our main job would be to have these in the public domain. To have, because like all of you said, if it comes with the mark of a government, then there is a bigger trust factor in that. So we would be happy to play that platform between the service providers and the international tourists who would like a government stamp on the kind of facility they are getting into. In fact, I will be even happy to explore signing an MOU with the association, the Indian Medical Association, or the NABH hospitals. If you can come together, an MOU with the government of Maharashtra, by which we can support each other in this, and we can give you the publicity. And another comment was about how we do a campaign by one of the esteemed panelists, and I think it's a great idea. We need to do a campaign and talk about how Maharashtra is a very, very big destination for tourism and wellness, and also use all the embassies very well. That's a really good idea. We can get out flyers, regular emails to all the embassies with the entire brochures of all the facilities which we have and which all the contact person. So they can disseminate those countries where we have the Indian embassies also. I have some really good contacts in the ministry which help us do it. And also small interventions like telling the FRRO to have the medical tourism. I think that's a very, very good and very easy and very simple step by which we can, start with all this. I think, the maximum tourists we get are mostly in the field of dentistry or in IVF or some of the. So wherever these markets are, if the medical association or if the hospitals come together and you want to do a medical travel mart, tourism mart there, we will be very happy to be a partner in that. Maharashtra Tourism can come along with this medical association and do a presentation on what all the government can offer you, what is the support systems which we have here. So coming from the government, I'm sure it will definitely make an impact. And also we can even support a fam tour of operators.
Absolutely, ma'am.
So medical tour. So what we could do probably is to draw up a document of what all would the government need to do, or something like a medical tourism policy guidelines.
Yes.
Which the government will do, and I will ensure that I'll get it also vetted by the Department of Health and Medical Education also, because I don't want to tread on their toes, because it's basically their job. Our job is to only ensure that people come to India for this and they spend their money here.
Yeah.
And how and they go back with a feel good factor. So
Yes.
that would be my selfish interest would be to ensure that. But I will ensure that both the departments of medical education, health are totally on board with us, and it will be this medical tourism policy guidelines is something which the government can bring out. And one of the panelists spoke about guest houses and accommodation units. How do we do it? So if we have again registered unit, regardless of medical tourism, those details are going to be in our website. As soon as we have a new revamped website, will be done in 2 months. So this all be part of it. So I would now ask if you can assist us in putting up a document together, in which we can put it in the framework of our requirement in the government format, and then put it out in the public domain, ask for more comments and suggestions from all the interested parties. So that would be, I think, a step one.
Yes, ma'am, you've covered most of the points. In fact, I would say all the points that the panelists have spoken so far. From my end, being the part of the industry, before I allow others to speak, there's one point that you're missing out is, the point where you're saying that people will come on here, we will do the visibility, we will do the joint things. We were already doing it as an individual people, as individual OPD camps. If we could do multiple events which could be, focused towards getting more patients here. Like you said, FAM. So FAM, we'll need to have a lot of the operators from that side to come here and look at our facilities. So these points are very well covered, and we will take it forward in the next move. Allow me, ma'am, I think your internet is again poor. Dr. Savalkar is there with us to hear us. Leo is again a big friend, a great friend. Leo is CEO of Treatment Possible, focused in Africa, focused in Middle East. Leo, over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Savalkar Saab, good evening, and thank you for giving this opportunity. Valsa ma'am. While we look at medical tourism is the word, but the approach needs to be a bit different. I learned it the hard way. Let me share my experience. I was with Wokhad and we started a hospital in Goa. And we were like, wow, we have Goa and we have loads of charter planes landing from Russia. Now we are going to get lots of people who want to do medical tourism in our hospital. So we approached all the medical tour operators, charter operators, and all the hotels. But we learned it the hard way after working for 2 years that these operators can't do the patient side of travel business. And the hotels can't give the FAM visits that we organize, it has to be medical tourism, guys. And we also realized that it's a altogether different product. So we can't go to the same expo of a tourism event like the way we will have in Russia and promote a hospital and come back and we hope that we get medical tourism patients. That's we have learned it a hard way. We have to take it up completely differently. We have to promote what our doctors and hospital side were saying, medical facility. We need to have road shows together with the government giving their trust, backing us with their trust. That is one aspect. So taking the tourism route, with my small experience in Goa, it didn't work. We have to have a different diversion on this. The same operators can't help. We have to think a bit differently for that. So we need road shows specifically. If we are organizing FAM visit, it has to be specific medical tourism operators, not travel operators, not airline operators. So that's the difference that we need to. And the other thing, when ma'am spoke about FRRO, that is a very critical aspect. All the points that has been suggested is most welcome. It will help us. I had few service apartments in Mumbai, and trust me, that was the biggest pain I was having, because the housing societies will not allow a foreigner to come in. So if MTDC is having a registered stay, we need to also have a column where they will say foreigners are allowed. Because you go to booking.com, you go to Airbnb, all the accommodations available online in Mumbai, and they will say, sorry, no foreigners allowed, no blacks allowed, no one from Muslim countries, Middle East allowed. Sorry, I'm being very direct. So,
non-veg allowed.
Yeah, pardon me?
No non-veg allowed.
No non-veg allowed. No Bangladeshi is allowed for that matter, which is the biggest market that comes to, biggest flow of patients that comes to Tata, and Tata say it overflows to other private hospitals and private doctors. But unka bhi accommodation ka kuch nahi ho sakta. So they have to stay in those shady places jahan pe 800 rupiya, 1000 rupiya ka ye hoga. They, even if they are ready to pay 2000 rupees per day, they don't get good service apartments. 3000. Either they have to pay 10,000 for service apartment in Worli, or the 800,000 rupees wala option milega. So this is my prayer sitting here, that the approach has to be different. Don't align it with tour operators, or else we will again have this meeting after 2 years and we will have to chart our course again. Second, FRRO wise, let's welcome everyone. Let's send out the message and road shows in our main markets where Mumbai and Pune has air connectivity, international markets. In those markets, if we can have a road show, I will sum it up at that.
Dr. Shaval, if you remember, when we met, we had a discussion that we cannot club this with the tourism operators. And there's a very different specialized niche needs that we have learned. I being coming from the tour operator to medical tourism, it's a whole together different journey. What Leo came out is absolutely a valid point. You need to take a very deep note about it, how we can plan a specialized events specifically for medical tourism. Moving forward, we have someone from, again, healthcare is Shriram. Shriram is from Nova IVF, focused only towards IVF, and good friend again. Shriram, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mihir, and thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity. Most of the points have been summed up, so I would just like to stress upon one point, which is basically mentorship in telemedicine. What we are trying to focus here is to try to get patients to India. I think with mentorship and training, where we get doctors from outside India, from specific countries, from Mumbai, get them trained here. And today I know telemedicine, every hospital has a telemedicine setup. The channel partners have their own telemedicine setups. But if we can get something done in a PPP model with the government of Maharashtra, where all of us are in one platform, that would be great. By doing this, we are giving a message to the specific countries, telling that yes, you will have to travel to India for treatment, but again, for the pre and post follow-up and also for the basic care, you don't have to come to India. I'm talking from an IVF perspective. Mihir and most of them know, with just a telemedicine and a trained gynecologist, 50% of the treatment can be done in their country. They don't have to come to India at all, which saves time, cost, and obviously stress. No one wants to spend 30 days in a country for medical treatment. The lesser the time, the quicker they come and they go, it's much easier. And the message which we give to the other countries is, look, we are also helping you upgrade your training, your knowledge, and your medical facilities so that a pre and post care of the patients are very well taken care of. So the complete loop is closed. Apart from that, the other points of visibility and logistics, I think, have been very, very extensively discussed. So I wouldn't like to go into it again. It's pretty much the same, which we keep discussing day in and day out with all the partners and all the stakeholders. So this is one point which I would like to stress on.
Yes.
If something can be worked out on it on a common platform, a telemedicine mentorship and a training programs can be worked out for the doctors or for the students or for the interns there, that would be great. That would help us to integrate it. And also it will be a long-term plan which help with the other countries, where looking at going forward 5 years down the line, if someone wants to set up a facility outside in a country, this would be the starting point.
Very well noted, Mr. Shriram. Sir, we have so many stakeholders in the Maharashtra itself, and we've just got you 12, 14, and we've already run over a 1 hour and 15 minutes already. We have just 2 more speakers left who come from a wellness space. And although I particularly say that wellness is not very great into medical tourism as such, because people speak about wellness resorts and we expect wellness hospitals who can, treat as a curable stuff. We have with us Dr. Onkar Rajiv. Dr. Onkar Rajiv is again a wellness specialist, and he's also formed a company called We Are Wellness, where he has a partner as Jonty Rhodes, a well-renowned cricketer with him. Dr. Rajiv and me are very good friends since last 2 years. We've got a Foreign Affairs Minister of Kenya treated under him. So he knows about wellness a bit. Over to you, sir. Dr. Rajiv. Hold on. I have not allowed you to speak. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So thanks, Valsa ma'am, and thank you, Dhananjay sir, for being here all the time. And thanks, Mihir, of course. The one point is, in current time, of course, indigenous healing systems have come up big. We are getting calls from Italy, we are getting calls from UK, USA, we are getting calls from Germany, where people want to indulge into Ayurveda-based therapies. And it's a bit of a cusp now. I think we are at that roundabout where our so-called big brothers, the hospitals, are getting in touch with us for their care continuum transactions also. So I will be talking few points which our elite panelists have already expressed, but just hear me out again. The one of the main aspect is to ignite the embassies abroad. I have represented a talk show in US representing another state. When I told them I'm not from that state, so I think somewhere I felt that our state of Maharashtra, in representing a pure wellness destination, an Ayurveda destination, somewhere we have to make a mark there. As I'll be specific in terms of Ayurveda and yoga, because we can do various workshops in these kind of embassies, because the research part is going on. The other part is the diplomacy part, or as a friend-to-friend part, where we can connect with the people in their locals and tell them how effective Ayurveda or yoga has been. So that's an extended hand. And other unique parts what we are coming up, like we are dealing in sports and Ayurveda. So people are coming from A-listed states, like we are getting people from Mississippi, countries from USA. They want to come to India, have a 7-day, 21-day retreats, but we are sending them down south. We are not able to hold them in Maharashtra. So that's another thing. And with hospitals, if we have right hospitals around, there are sometimes some small procedures what to be done. So when they are staying here, that small procedures can be done in so many esteemed hospitals which we have come across. So that's kind of a union. And even we are getting people coming here for allied, like when they are coming for wellness tourism, there are people along with them who wants to have Ayurveda treatment, because most of the time they are just statutory there and they don't have anything to do. So they are indulging, and again, because there is nothing in Maharashtra where they can trustworthily go, we have to direct them south. So that is my thing. And if all the wellness facilities in terms of Ayurveda and yoga, if we are able to rate them, because when you are presenting any wellness facility back in US or in Europe, you have to able to rate them in terms of facility, in terms of skill sets, in terms of what is a prognosis level after the therapy has done, after that episode of, it might be psoriasis, it might be any ailment, after that episode has ended, how with simple data points are we able to portray it in a disease severity index kind of thing, so that once they know that this kind of thing has happened, they can come again for the next wellness vacation.
Sure.
And I want just 2 minutes, 1 minute. I won't take much time. It's basically, can we get linked with medical tourism, big boys, and tourism per se, because there's a huge cross sell that can happen, and linking Ayurveda and yoga with the third tier, or a panchayat level ecosystem, because what is happening, agro-tourism is increasing and they need some Ayurveda if there can be inculcated, but we have no access to it, and then it becomes a very difficult mechanism, because there are some simple aspects, if we are able to put it across, it can generate huge job opportunities. And nevertheless, the last aspect is to have a mass movement which talks about Maharashtra being as a epicenter of wellness tourism, or a specific place where you can heal. So something like that. I sum it up. Yeah, thanks.
Sure. So thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. The only difference is, the difference of the markets. Again, I'll come back to you later, since we have a very short time. We have Sagar Vazare here from Kian Wellness. Sagar, over to you. Sagar, a very, very small time that we have, and we have one more speaker, Umesh, is left, and then we'll have to stop it. So unfortunately, we are running out of time. Please go ahead. We can't hear you, Sagar. You'll have to increase your voice. No. We can't hear you. A very small voice is coming. Sagar can't hear you. All right, Sagar, sorry.
Audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, so I'll keep it very to the point. One is that we have a fantastic, as far as wellness sector is concerned, we have fantastic role model in terms of Kerala. In year 2001, the tourism there, the medical tourism there was around 1 lakh, which has grown to 9 lakhs as of now. So we have to take that model infrastructure. We want to position Maharashtra as a wellness hub or wellness epicenter, as Dr. Omkar have said. We need to create that infrastructure, start building up that infrastructure right from now. So 3 things I would like to highlight here. One is that we need to earmark the wellness tourism zone. That is my strong recommendation to the honorable delegates from the Ministry of Tourism, that we need to earmark, like Sindhudurg, Konkan can be there, Nasik can be there, and allied connected cities can be there. Second, we talk about the collaboration with the flagship hospitals, because we are the just extension of the post-recovery rehabilitation where the hospitals are concerned. Third, which is very important part, is the PPP model has to be executed. When the tourism policy was being formed, we recommended that wellness tourism should have a PPP model, because creating an infrastructure, investing too much of money into it will take too much of time for the ROI to justify. So existing infrastructure, which is MTDC is already having, can be converged into a wellness format, and things can move very, very fast. And as likely said, that we need a strong accreditation, a collaborative effort in the marketing and positioning. I think these are the few points, and when we have one-on-one meeting with Honorable Madam and Savalkar sir, we'll elaborate on this, because we are already running out of time.
Thanks,
Thank you for this.
Thanks, for making it, Chris. We have Umesh Unikrishnan. Umesh Bhai is a global consultant and have done a lot of events for MTDC also, and he knows where medical tourism needs some, things to be corrected. Umesh, over to you.
Thank you, Mihir. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Madam, for initiating this discussion. This is in continuation with our discussion that I have been having with the MTDC team in drafting the policy also. As you have heard about most of the delegates' requirements and interests and the challenges that they are facing, there is, of course, a difference in the expectation of the deliverables on behalf of the industry and the role that the directorate can play. I assume that we have been working with MTDC to create the draft of the medical tourism policy, which I assume is currently under submitted to you for your views. 99% of all the points wherein the tourism ministry or the directorate can play a role has been included in that. Some other challenges which has been mentioned by the delegates here are, I assume, are the beyond the purview of the directorate, but directorate can be the anchor in taking up these points with the other relevant departments. To just add on to what we have done in the past, in 2018, we had worked with MTDC in participating and positioning Maharashtra state as a medical tourism destination in Arabian travel market. We had been to Middle East couple of times with the erstwhile minister, the last tourism minister, and promoting medical tourism. In fact, we had done a specific media campaign and had around 7 MOUs done with 7 countries during this participation in a tourism event. Like one of the delegates said that the strategy was to have a separate campaign focusing only on medical tourism, which was done very dedicatedly. However, the continuity of the global engagement post that event was not done for whatever reasons, due to which the whole traction of that deliverable did not continue to deliver the the benefits to the state. The whole idea of positioning Maharashtra as a destination for medical tourism was the theme. Now there are two parts to it. One is the branding of the state globally. Since I am more representing, so we have a network with about 100 countries which the branding happens on both the tourism aspect as well as medical tourism aspect. Medical tourism should always be subset of whatever tourism promotion that is happening across by MTDC or the state of Maharashtra. A specific activity we had suggested that time also that there should be some scope which has been attributed to medical tourism. And second is the marketing activities at a global level where we are doing promotion of positioning. It has to be linked to what is the quantifiable revenue generating results for the industry, because even in that 2018 campaign, we had invited about 7-8 companies and hospitals to be a part of the Maharashtra stall. And that is what we need to have. I think apart from state branding, we need to have a continual activity and engagement plan for the next year, which we are already drafting. And along with the policy which we have already submitted, we should have a separate discussion on how are we going to execute this for establishing Maharashtra. So that's the key point on the global market. Yeah, that would want to.
Visibility, as all of us in the stakeholders who is doing it knows that visibility is very important. Before I give a final verdict or a final time to say someone, I would want Joint Director to speak something, and then we will again move to Valsa ma'am if the internet permits. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Mirji. I think most of the points our Secretary Madam has covered. But what I understood from the points raised by all the experts, if we broadly categorize it, there are certain hurdles and issues regarding which are related to central government, for the instance, the visas and the air connectivity to the target market. And there are some points which are related to state government, particularly the infrastructure and some soft interventions. Madam has rightly mentioned about this database hosting, and we are currently in the stage of revamping our website. I think in next 2 months, we will, our good kind of website will be there. And we are in the process of keeping one dedicated web page for this thing, for medical tourism, on the same website. Second point, which just now Umesh has mentioned, that the draft of the policy is already submitted by you. But my point is that can we form a working group for this comprehensive policy document, so that very comprehensive document will come up. So that is my point. And if those who are ready for to contribute their knowledge and expertise for this policy, so my request through this forum that please willingly give your names to Mr. Mihir or directly to us,
Sure.
so that in next 1 or 2 months our policy will come up.
No, I mean, all people would love to do this, sir.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the promotion and marketing, many experts have viewed as to arrange the road shows or the international campaigns. My suggestion is that can we evolve such a model where the all the stakeholders can contribute to that? Of course, Maharashtra Tourism will also contribute and will also try to involve the embassies and the respective country government officials. But that is also one of my point. So that's it from my side.
सावरकर सर, आपने सबसे पैसे मांग लिए. हम आपसे मांग रहे हैं, आप हमसे मांग रहे हैं.
दोनों से.
No, on an average, sir, all the hospitals do participate in the events across the different shows. If the government is involved, I am pretty sure the hospitals would want to participate. But there are much higher cost compared to the just participating on the show. And as I told you earlier, if we manage our own show of Maharashtra, there would be higher cost. And they could participate you as a stall bearer, which is not a problem. But they could not run the whole show. So in that way, Maharashtra government will have to take a huge lead in managing these events in the countries where it is important. I know where a country managed it in London. I mean, we've done an event in London, which is not useful for us at the moment. So that's it from me. Ma'am, I am sure everyone has spoken. I have not spoken myself. The one point that you are also a principal secretary for civil aviation. And we know that the most important connectivity here in the medical tourism is a connectivity. So as Mumbai, we are the #1 in connecting Africa. We've got over probably 35, 40 flights a week connecting from Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. No other city in India has this. I mean, only Ethiopia goes twice a day to Delhi. I mean, 14 flights a week, and once to Bangalore. But no other city has that kind of presence as what we have. But where we don't have is Bangladesh, where we don't have, CIS countries. Tashkent, we were supposed to fly, but we've not gone there. Where we don't have is Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a huge medical tourism, seller patients there, but we don't have a direct connectivity. So these are all the places where we need to have flights. Number two, ma'am, no one has spoken today. The COVID has hit a very bad. I mean, for the 8 months, forget about hospitals. Hospitals also have done a very, very, take a very huge hit within the medical tourism because there was no flight operating. The facilitator that is sitting in front of you, me, Dr. Ahmed, Dheeraj and Leo, we've got a huge hit here. And all of us, including the hospital. People today in a central government, they have considered a medical value travel as a champion industry or a champion sector, right? But there is no state which is telling us as an industry. Recently, Maharashtra state has given industry things to the hotel industry, right? Very recently, probably a week back that you have given us. Medical value travel is in the champion sector and has a huge opportunity lies in front of you. Try to figure out how we can give a boost to this industry in a very efficient way. And we've been, especially four of us who are sitting in front of you are fighters. Almost many of the medical tourism companies have shut their shop. And I don't know how we are going to survive. We have taken a huge fight here. The medical tourism people from the hospital itself, international marketing team, they were in a huge stress because of this. So they moved to domestic, they moved to this. There's a huge way forward in front of us, and try and see how you can put flowers for us. We will help the patients. We will make the Maharashtra as #1 brand, but you need to shower some flowers on us. Some. I'm not saying that you shower on money on us, but some event activity that you can take it forward. And the only request is do not stop here. Let us take it one step forward from here. Unlike last time where we stopped after the meeting. Dr. Ahmed wants to say something. After that, ma'am, you can speak. Yes.
I think, Mihir, I think it's, as you said, it's not about what one does. It's about a collaboration and the vision. While I do medical value travel is one of my verticals that I do, besides my consulting and other work. Yes, it has taken a hit. But the purpose of this is, I think, and Valsa Madam knows this pretty well, that how are we going to portray? It's about positioning Maharashtra as a tourism destination, whether it could be other hotel tourism, medical tourism. This forum is more to do with the medical part. But, and my submission, Valsa ma'am, if you have the access to it, of that paper which was given to you by IMC, if you want, I can resend it to you. If you can look at that, it has captured everything from a policy perspective, where it has to become a win-win. Yes, we can talk of road shows, we can talk of this, but first let's put the house in order in terms of a policy structure. And then who shakes whose hand, who holds each other's hand becomes a secondary point.
Please send it to me.
I'll resend it to you, ma'am. The other thing is, Mihir, as you mentioned, about opening the flight connectivity to Tanz. I was working on a project in Afghanistan, in Kabul, and I did happen to have an audience with President Karzai as well. And at that point of time, there was a talk of opening direct flights from Kabul to Mumbai at least 3 times a week. And he expressed to me that on an average, 800 to 1,000 people are traveling, 2 plane loads are traveling a day to Delhi for treatment. And with the issues that they've had in Delhi, he was very, very confident that he said Mumbai is a more safer market for me than Delhi. So this is it is an area of opportunity. I think when we have a closed door, smaller group circle meeting, we can talk about these accesses, which can help Valsa ma'am take the right decisions.
Ma'am, Valsa ma'am, over to you. A final points that you would wish to address to us. Oh, sorry, I'll have to. Yes, ma'am.
You have to unmute me.
Yes, I just did that.
Yes, so I think it has been a really a good changes, and I see potential in working together to position Maharashtra as the best medical tourism destination country. So for step 1, let us have this document made, and I think IMC's document would come to me, and maybe after about a week, we should get together and have a discussion on the documents.
Sure. Ma'am, we have also
If you
submitted
can, maybe a very short document. Pardon?
We've given a document to Dr. Savalkar also, and
Yeah.
on the ground reality of what MVT does.
You've given it to him already, then I'll discuss with Mr. Savalkar.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we'll plan the next roadmap.
100%, ma'am. But the only request is, we'll have to continue this. We are with you, ma'am. The road is difficult. The entire industry is with you. The entire, all the stakeholders are with you. Let us work it together to make it bigger and successful.
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for participating and giving your almost 2 hours here. It was a wonderful meeting. On just a call, you have been approved on this meeting. I really appreciate. I thank you so much. And we will keep you updated from Dr. Savalkar will update you on the next move. The closed circle group, he will send you the emails. Anything, sir? Dr. Savalkar?
No, thank you. Thanks to all.
I am just ending the meeting now.